This entire military is one cohesive, dedicated force. And the threats to our nations, they don't sleep. They're watching our every move. Iran, Russia, China, North Korea, ISIS, Al-Qaeda. They may be watching this right now. Our military should not be mistaken for a cable news gab-fed show. We don't care what you look like. We don't care who you voted for, who you worship, what you worship, who you love. It doesn't matter if your dad left you millions when he died or if you knew who your father was. We have been honed into a machine of lethal moving parts that you would be wise to avoid if you know what's good for you. We will not be intimidated. We will not back down. We don't want war. But if you want war with the United States of America, there's one thing I can promise you, so help me God. Someone else will raise your sons and daughters.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Catch the Into the Weeds podcast on Military Broadcast Radio every Sunday at 6 p.m. Central. Hosts Amber and Alora, the dynamic mother-daughter team, engage in interview-style discussions with intriguing guests on topics ranging from music and prison reform to archaeology and the paranormal. Are you ready to go into the weeds? Catch the Into the Weeds podcast on Military Broadcast Radio every Sunday at 6 p.m.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Into the Weeds podcast here on Military Broadcast Radio. I'm Amber.
And I'm Alora.
And we thank you so much for being here today. And hopefully you heard that because sometimes our internet is bad, and so the audio cuts out in the beginning.
Yeah, but I did notice, did you say that we're going to be changing our day to Saturday when we upload, and it still said Sunday in that, so I just wanted to clarify if that was something that was changing.
Actually, I forgot about that. Thank you for thank you for reminding me.
Well, she decided on her own that we're going to be switching it to Saturday nights, so hopefully I'll be able to be involved in as many things, but my schedule at work is changing, and on top of that, I'm a 24-year-old girl, so Saturday nights. No,
yeah,
I don't
sorry.
really party, but no, it's okay. But yeah, I just figured I would say that to anybody who's in the audience. Is this going to be our last Sunday night that we're going to be doing this show?
I believe so.
Okay.
Just in case. Yeah, but and see, my internet's already not letting me show some of the things, so we may not even go to any commercials today.
Okay, which
we'll see what happens.
I prefer, but no, I understand how the network is.
Okay. So, yeah, I want to thank everybody for being here. And I especially want to thank everybody who has shared Aubrey's. There it goes.
Yes.
I haven't touched it in quite a while.
Hello, Exposing the Good Vibes Network.
Yes, I want to thank everybody who has watched and shared.
Yes.
Please keep continuing to share it. Keep continuing to get it out there. I know there has been some updates. And actually, I will just play this real quick while I'm talking.
Do you have to put it on the screen?
Oh, hold on.
Probably press pause.
Hold on. My bad.
Real quick, if there's anybody who's on here at 6:30 p.m., I believe. I don't know if he's going to be having the parents on, but there's a YouTube channel that I watch called Gavin Fish, and he's going to be talking about the Aubrey Wu case. I just happened to see it on my timeline.
Really?
I already watch him for a lot of Madeline Soto content, so he's a bigger creator. I don't think yeah, he's a pretty big creator, actually. I think he's at least over 100,000. So I'm really hoping that his audience can do some good work with this. So I'd like to implore you, if you'd like to check out the Gavin Fish channel, not that he needs my shout out, but 6:30.
Yeah, no, and Aubrey went on. Not Aubrey.
Playing it?
Yeah,
Or-
it's
it
playing.
doesn't say anything. Okay.
No, it doesn't say anything.
Okay, gotcha.
Aubrey's parents went on Military Broadcast Radio this last week, and they got hooked up with some people who hopefully can help them. So we're really, really hoping that some really great things come about for
Yes.
Aubrey. We hope she's found soon. And then once she's found, we hope that she can come and, not to us, go
Yeah.
out and tell everybody
Yeah.
her story, and hopefully just, educate, because unfortunately too many children and women and boys and men find themselves in this situation. And so we just want to make sure that this kind of stuff is talked about and brought focus to. And so we're going to
Yes.
be doing some of that. I got reached
Some
out to
updates and
again
stuff.
today with a family, and I'm going to be getting in touch with a few more families.
It'll be good.
Yeah, so I'm.
But as far as Aubrey's story, it's very important to get the story out now, but she's only 14, so
Mhm.
I really don't think she needs to be telling her story necessarily
Oh,
for
no, no,
quite
no,
some
no.
time.
Yeah.
But if she but hopefully hopefully she's found
Yes.
safe and unharmed. And yeah, that's all I have to say. I really hope that she just returns safe and unharmed.
Yeah.
And no matter what, Aubrey, I'm sure you're not watching this, but if you're ever watching anything, just know you're not in trouble. You were loved. Everything is
Yes.
okay.
Mhm.
There's no such thing as a perfect victim, and it doesn't matter what you have ever done or anything like that. You are loved by your family,
Yeah.
and that is all.
And now the world loves you, and
Yes.
MBR and Into the Weeds loves you as well. And
Yes.
so we
Mhm.
just hope that this situation gets resolved soon. She can get home to her family and live her life, and just be a bright beacon of hope for our future. So with that being said, there is something that I want to talk about. Laura,
She did this on her own.
I did this on my own, and I had been thinking about doing this for a couple of weeks. I felt discouraged not to do it, but I'm doing it now because, well, for one thing, we have had a lot of content creators here. We have interviewed several of them, and I think all of them have at one point or another been doxxed or maligned, slandered. There's just a whole bunch of toxicity and a whole bunch of really cruddy things going on right now. And it has been for a while. And I'm just a casual observer. I don't get into any of that stuff. I used to see a lot of it when I was on other platforms and things like that. But I pretty much, unless it comes to me, I don't really see it. Or if I'm on TikTok, because I have a really bad algorithm on TikTok. But actually, I did want to say welcome, Bubbles, C. Morales, Rebrand. Let's see who else is here. Exposing the Good Wives. It's just me. So thank you all for coming. And so yeah, I just I wanted to say something because I think it's detestable. I think it's disrespectful, and so this is pretty much what I was going to say a couple of weeks ago. I added a few things because I learned a few things, but just bear with me. I'm actually going to read it. So now I know that there is some confusion. Whoa, Rebrand, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much, Rebrand.
You're amazing.
We very much appreciate you, and we always love seeing you in the chat.
Yes, we do. So there's been some speculation as to who the lawyer of Gypsy, who Gypsy's lawyer is, and my son has told me that if I keep talking about Gypsy, he's going to take my internet privileges away. So this is just my one and only. I hope we can just stop here. So I just wrote this out to Mr. Stanfield. Regardless if he's her lawyer, I think he is her manager at the very least. He's the adult in the room, supposedly. So I'm just going to read it out. That way I don't make any mistakes. And I do make statements. When I say I make statements, usually it's just because I have a hard time remembering things, so I have to write things down. But this is my statement that I just want to put out there. Mr. Stanfield, I am addressing you today as a concerned individual who has been closely observing the actions of those surrounding your client, Gypsy Rose Blanchard. And Anderson, I guess, is her last name still. Or maybe not, I don't know. I want to bring to your attention a deeply troubling matter regarding the ongoing doxing, harassment, and slander being carried out by individuals claiming to be her supporters, most notably her self-proclaimed best friend and others acting in concert with her across multiple social media platforms. Beyond content creators, it has come to my attention that this harassment extends to subscribers and individuals who simply do not align with your client's preferred narrative. More disturbingly, I have been informed that your client may be actively participating in a Discord server that is not only engaging in these activities, but is specifically targeting disabled individuals, including disabled veterans like myself and other veterans as well. If true, this is not only deeply immoral, it is illegal. I do not need to explain to you the gravity of doxing, especially when it involves vulnerable individuals, some of who have served this country. If your client is in fact aware of or complicit in these actions, it could have significant legal and ethical ramifications. As an attorney, I trust that you understand the seriousness of these legal allegations and will advise your client accordingly. The law is clear. Doxing, harassment, and targeted defamation are not protected activities. Those engaging in such behavior open themselves to potential legal consequences, and any connection between your client and these actions could prove damaging. I urge you to take this matter seriously and ensure that your client distances herself from such conduct. If she is truly seeking a fresh start and a second chance at life, these are not the kind of actions she should be involved in, directly or indirectly. The public is watching, and so are those who have been targeted. So that is just my statement. You know, I wanted to say something, and then, you know, first it was Becca, then it was Toddy, and then I found out about all the other stuff that was going on. And then I got sent a video of my family being mocked and trashed. And so, you know, and it was on a video where I was interviewing somebody, my guest, and I don't take kindly to that. So, you know, I just wanted that out there. I just wanted you guys to know that I do see what's going on, and I hope that if any of you guys have been attacked or have gotten messed up in all of this situation, that you just completely distance yourself from it and don't engage with crazy, because it's just it's wild, and I just, your mental health doesn't deserve that. So I know my mental health doesn't deserve it, and that's why I don't pay attention to it. So with that being said, and Laura, you want to say anything?
Completely unrelated. I don't want to touch that with the 10-foot pole.
Okay.
But I will say doxing is never okay. I think there's some nuances on what people think is classified as doxing, but regardless, it's never okay. But also completely unrelated to that, I wanted to give a big shout out to Manic Mondays, I think is what it said. Oh, where'd the mouse go? There we go. So make sure I'm reading out the right name. Yeah. Manic Mondays, happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
So, thank you for choosing to spend a little bit of your time with us, especially on your birthday. We very much appreciate it. So,
yeah, because you could be doing something way different.
yeah, absolutely. So pouring out a drink, or no, not pouring out a drink. That's a never mind. What I meant to say is shots. Anyway, sorry. Anyway, moving on.
Okay.
Okay.
We are going to bring up our guest, Millennial.
Go ahead and get into the interview of the week.
Okay, if it will play.
If it will play. Watch, we're going to get into it and then it'll play like 2 minutes later.
I know. Come on.
I'll do the thing. Doom, 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 doom. Interview of the week sponsored by, is it Jersey Mike's?
Yeah,
okay,
Jersey
good. I
Mike's,
almost said
sorry.
Jimmy John's. Sponsored by Jersey Mike's. Doom, doom,
Okay,
doom,
it's
doom,
not
doom,
coming
doom.
up.
It's going to come up randomly in like 2 minutes.
Okay,
so if
hold
we
on.
see that, we're not trying to cut anybody off.
Hello, Millennial. Welcome.
Hi, welcome.
The interview of the week is brought to you by Jersey Mike's, a sub above.
My bad.
We knew
How's
it
it
was gonna
going?
happen.
We're good. How are you?
Good.
Okay. So, well, we are going to get into Meghan Markle, which is another hot topic online, which I don't know if we're doing ourselves a favor or not by jumping into this topic.
Oh, Meghan Markle, that's a well of content.
Oh, yes, totally.
From what it seems, and I'd like to tell everyone before we start, I am the uneducated person in the room yet again. I've gotten some heat for it before, but I think in this case, it'll kind of work out because, like, if anyone doesn't really know much about Meghan Markle, I can stop them and ask for extra clarifications. But don't they kind of have a similar doxing problem in the Meghan Markle kind of universe?
They do.
So,
Yes.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
really bad over there, too.
yeah. So,
Some people probably feel like we just pick on her because she's not a criminal, in the sense of some of the other people we talk about. But she is very annoying and is using her platform in a way that is so contradictory to the way that she says she wants to use it that it feels apropos to point it out as commentators.
Yeah, and we had P. Dinah on here once to speak about Meghan, and then we had her on to speak about her charity, which is Life Smart Education. Go check it out. She's doing really great things.
I love Peter.
So, but yeah, so can you just kind of get into why you commentate on Meghan? I know I have been following it since her suit days, which I know you have as well. So just kind of get into it with us.
Yeah, for sure. Well, as a millennial, I was absolutely fascinated with Princess Diana in the 80s. My aunts, excuse me, my aunts in the Ozarks got all of the tabloid magazines, National Enquirer, Star, all of those. And they always had the royals plastered there. And not just Diana, it was Fergie and even Princess Anne's antics and all that. So I, even as a small child, was super fascinated by the royal family and all the stories around them. And that never really went away. That just continued throughout my life. And so I actually was a fan of Suits, like you said, just randomly before Harry and Meghan ever started dating. I just liked the show. So whenever I actually heard that they were dating, I was pretty excited. I was like, oh, great. Like Meghan Markle never acts a fool in Hollywood and, that we knew of at that time and stuff like that. So I thought that as Americans, we might get redeemed from Wallace Warfield Simpson, the only other American divorcee to marry into the royal family and cause a complete catastrophe.
You know
But
who that is, Laura?
who is
Wallace Simpson.
Wallace Simpson? No. Who's Wallace
she
Simpson?
was, yeah, so she was married to King Edward the 7th or 8th. Help me out, Amber.
Okay.
I can't remember.
I'm getting lost in my numbers, but he
Yeah.
was Harry's, would it be uncle?
Yes.
Yeah, it would be his uncle because he married an American divorcee against all advice and ended up abdicating the throne over it. And that's the whole reason why we have Queen Elizabeth in the specific lineage that we do now. Because of him abdicating, it went to his brother. And after they abdicated, they were kind of aimless and extravagant and known for just basically spending money. They got involved with Hitler, literally in person.
Put it up on screen. Ooh, yeah. Sorry, my bad. Yeah.
Yeah, they got involved with him and actually had a plot at one point to try and reinstate Edward to the throne after his abdication and dethrone Queen Elizabeth in order to ally Britain with Nazi Germany.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yes.
So,
He was
and
Queen
that,
Elizabeth's uncle.
yeah, and in addition to Harry marrying an American divorcee, an interesting parallel there is whenever we talk about the royal family being racist, the most blatant example is Harry wearing a Nazi swastika to a party. So yeah, if Meghan was concerned, she likes to claim that she never Googled Harry before marrying him or dating him or whatever. And if she, was concerned about marrying into a racist family, that would have done her good.
Yeah.
To Harry.
Yeah.
She would have seen him with a swastika around his arm and a beer in hand.
I Google people before I hang out with them or date them, and I'm not even interacting with the Prince of freaking England. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. You never just walk down the aisles of Walmart and seen, like you said, like all the tabloid magazines. I remember Prince Harry got up to some activities in maybe like the early 2010s or late 2000s, and
Yep.
I remember seeing some videos, or not videos, some
Naked activities.
pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like 12 at the time, so I'm sure that Meghan Markle.
Yeah,
remember that.
right.
But maybe
Well,
she's
there is a lady who worked with Meghan Markle. What was her name? Nelthorpe Cowan or something like that.
Yes. Gina, I think, or
Gina Nelthorpe
Cowan, or
something like that. I think you can find it Googling by those phonetics. But so she worked with Meghan during her Suits days before dating Harry, and she claims that Meghan told her in a conversation, she's like, I have a date with Prince Harry. And then Meghan said that she had went deeply into his life and knew what he wanted and liked and those kinds of things. Well, immediately, not long after her first date, Meghan completely cut her off to the point where Meghan and Harry were at some sort of event. I don't remember what it was. And this woman was there, and she was in a press line where she was supposed to shake Meghan's hand. And she was moved to a different line, and she asked Harry, she was like, hey, I was in Meghan's line. I know her. I worked with her. I wanted to say hi. Why did I get moved? Did she have me moved? And she said Harry just like glazed over and completely ignored that question and like moved on to the next person real quick.
Yeah,
So,
I think it was an Irish pub or something like that, if I remember correctly. Something
yeah,
like that.
you're probably
And
right.
it was a very intimate setting too, which made it even more awkward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very awkward.
So I don't know if you're speaking because we just froze. So
Oh, no problem.
Oh.
I'll come back eventually.
dealing with our eternal internet problems, no matter
Yeah.
how many phone calls my father makes to the internet company.
yeah, it's quite stressful actually. And if I looked like I was last week, if I looked like I was really stressed out, that's because my internet was so bad.
Well,
So-
because we felt especially bad because they were speaking about like a missing child, and that's important. I mean, we're just talking about silly, goofy little things that at the end of the day, plenty of other people are talking about already. But that story really needed to be projected. And
Yes.
it's like we really don't need our silly little internet problems interfering with that. So thankfully, we were able to have somebody else host it on a separate platform all the way in Colorado, and we were able to call into the show. So
Yeah.
it worked. We had to call into our own show.
Thank
but,
you,
know,
Joel.
Thank you. You saved the day.
Yeah, so like you, I grew up, well, I'm an 80s and 90s kid. So I was born in 79. So having Princess Diana and Fergie and Charles all over everything, I don't remember much about Princess Anne or Prince Andrew at that time. I do remember a lot about Fergie, though.
I grew up
Yeah.
in the 2010s or early 2000s and 2010s. So I grew up with a different Fergie. So
They're delicious.
delicious.
Yeah.
definition. I'm sorry.
No, right? So you couldn't escape it. I mean, it was like it was way bigger back then than it is now, because back then we didn't have the internet to go, find more information. So, it was just constantly in our faces. And it looks like Hakab was born in 79 as well.
It's a good song by the Smashing Pumpkins.
Yeah. I told Laura when I die, I want that played at my funeral.
I got you, fam.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, I grew up with it. I've got Princess Diana back here.
Nice.
I was told that I was related to them, and since I've done some of my ancestry and stuff, it actually looks like I was. But
vaguely.
Yeah,
Far
vaguely.
back.
Yeah.
Sure, nice.
We're next in line for the throne, guys.
Oh yeah.
Right after Harry,
Yeah,
right?
but they used to be able to track it to 836, but now since Ancestry or no 23andMe, it's even further back. I can't even remember. So to the Faroe Islands or something like that.
Shout out to the Mormons for your impeccable record keeping.
Oh yeah, they're all about the genealogy, man.
No, seriously. I mean, say what you want, but they got that on lock.
Right. Oh, Lulu says she's related to Princess Diana too. Yeah,
maybe we're related to each other in some faraway way.
Well, I've got 26 first cousins, so who knows?
It's really easy.
So yeah, so I just grew up in that era, and so it was really exciting for me when Prince William married Catherine, who is now she's now Princess Catherine. Well, I think she's Princess
Wales,
Catherine. Yes, the Princess of Wales. And I actually haven't been keeping up for the last year since I got into the whole gypsy thing.
Not a lot of has happened with William and Catherine other than Catherine had the cancer deal, and half the world who's not used to actually following the royals thought that they replaced her with, I don't know, a Kate Middleton replacement or something. Oh, Laura, did you?
Yeah, says the woman who's defended Prince Andrew a couple times.
I did not defend Prince Andrew. I said that picture looks weird. That's all I said.
All I'm going to say about the Kate Middleton thing, yes, I don't follow the royals, so I don't know if there's a bunch of extra context, but there were some weird photo editing image issues that I was kind of like, that's a little weird. Maybe this, that, and the other. And then I sent you a couple of silly little conspiracy videos. But I send them doesn't mean that I full believe them.
I know, but she would run in and she'd be like, look at this one.
Yeah, I mean, she definitely edited up those photos, but we know now that it's because she probably looked like hell from cancer.
Yeah, right.
And what everybody was clamoring for a photo, and she probably thought, "Let me just stick one together." Ugh.
Yeah.
No idea of what the uproar would be from that.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of ridiculous that the press actually issued a kill notice. It's like, at the end of the day, she posted the photo on her social media. It wasn't put out in any official way, but I guess just because of the status of who she is.
Yeah, I agree.
It is official on the social media. So
yeah,
I found the backlash kind of crazy, but in Alora's defense, I'm a normal royal follower, so I have a more context of how those things go down.
Yeah.
Again, I didn't necessarily buy into everything, but I just thought it was kind of weird, and then I sent it to her because I thought it was funny because she already followed the royals. I was like, is this really how it seems?
Its path goes along with your name.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, so I didn't actually watch Catherine and William's wedding because we were on a family trip.
I have a very specific memory of sitting in the hotel and watching the wedding.
It was after it. It was a rewatch.
Was it?
Yeah, it was.
I remember you waking up super early to do it too.
That was for Meghan and Harry.
This was on a trip, and this was in a
Yeah,
hotel.
I know.
Were we also in a hotel when Meghan and Harry happened?
No. Okay, so so we were actually in the truck going to Oklahoma from Florida, and when they got married, and then when we stopped at the hotel that night, we watched the
What year was that?
That'd have been
When
2000.
Meghan and Harry got married?
No,
William
William and Catherine, probably 2011.
11?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
around there, somewhere around there.
Okay.
Yeah, so I didn't watch their wedding live, and then but I did like Suits. My husband watched it religiously, and he
Mhm.
still watches it. He'll even put it on for the dogs when we leave. So and so yeah, I really liked Meghan, and I was excited when they got together, and got up bright and early to watch them get married, and was so stunned because of the historical monumental event that actually was happening.
Absolutely.
You know, not only was Meghan marrying into the royal family, but there was also a black preacher and a black choir,
Mhm.
which was like,
Yeah.
I was like,
Beautiful.
It was super
yeah,
cool.
yeah. And come to find out, Prince Charles at the time
Mhm.
was the one responsible for setting all that up,
Yeah,
which
he's
was cool, you
yeah.
know? So yeah, so I was there. I really, really liked him. And then I think what actually got me side-eyeing her was when she went to, was it Eugenie's wedding? And
Mhm.
she was telling everybody she was pregnant.
Yeah, from what I understand, I heard, and I don't know if this is confirmed or not. I can't remember which commentary channel it was that was saying this, but it might have been River. But I think what they said was that she didn't exactly walk up and announce it, but she intentionally dressed in a way that made it so obvious that everyone asked the question and they confirmed. And yeah, it
Yeah,
just
her pea coat was open a little bit at the bottom.
Mhm.
it kind of like for as early on as she was there, and I'm not big into the moon bump theories, but it looked like she was padding.
Yeah, it was her whole pregnancy, just like if you want to go down that rabbit hole with GRB, you
Mhm.
know, it's odd. And I can't tell you how many things they have both lined up on over the years. I'm just like, what the heck?
When I think of the pregnancy thing, I think about, has anyone ever seen that video of Beyonce sitting down for the talk show and her stomach literally like deflates?
Yeah.
This is like maybe
I haven't.
15 years, or well, maybe like 12 years ago.
Mhm.
However old Blue
Well,
Ivy is.
apparently that's a real thing in Hollywood. Like, if you're pregnant, your PR people advise you to wear a bump
Oh.
because if you don't look pregnant enough, like it starts rumors of miscarriage and this and that.
Mm,
So both, even though they're vastly different, Megan and GRB both have PR teams, from what we
Yeah.
understand. And so it wouldn't be that weird for them to get that advice.
hmm
mhm.
I get that.
Yeah, and yeah, that's a whole rabbit hole you can go down. So I don't know if Gypsy was doing the same thing, but
Don't want to
it,
speak definitively on it, but
it's
Yeah.
very weird. Hey, Cherokee girl, you're welcome. Okay. Um, so let's get into
the weeds.
yeah, let's get into the weeds. Hold on. Let me go to where. What was I gonna
You
go
got
to
your little
next?
notes. Go.
I want to answer Rebrand real quick because this is something people tell me a lot. I stopped following the Royals in 1776. I haven't had to care about them since then. And honestly, no one does. No one has to care about them. I'm not into them because I think it's important that I know or that anybody else should know. It's just something that I'm interested in because of when I was in the 80s and follow Princess Diana. Just like people get interested in random reality shows, to me, the
Yeah.
royal family is living history. It's
Mhm.
like a historical monument that's evolving every day. So,
Mhm.
yeah, it's not a big deal if people think this is not an important subject. To me, it's not offensive.
Yeah, no, and I love history, and that's why I follow it,
Mhm.
and that's why I follow most of everything I do follow, is because I want to consume the information in order to know historically what actually happened.
So I have
Yeah.
the stupidest question, like literally the stupidest question. So we actually had like a group chat earlier, and I said something about like Miss Markle or something. So obviously she's married now, probably took on her husband's last name. Do the Royals, what is the Royals' last name?
Oh, this is
Mountbatten
actually a big
Windsor.
deal right now. This is a huge deal right now because Yeah, I made a video about this the other day. So back in 2019, when Archie was first born, Meghan and Harry were making a big deal about putting out through their unofficial spokesperson, Omid Scobie, that they might not give the kids royal titles. They want him to have a normal life and blah, blah, blah. And Archie was being referred to as Master Archie Mountbatten, Archie Harrison Mountbatten Windsor. So Mountbatten Windsor is actually their last name.
Yeah.
But Meghan, it is normal when they have a title, like the Andrew is the Duke of York. Sarah sometimes refers to them as the York family.
Mhm.
So it's not completely off for her to say we are the Sussex family, but she's making a big deal right now on her show about I am Meghan Sussex. That's my last name. And it's a flip-flop from where they were before they left the royal family. Before they left the royal family, what they were constantly saying was acting like they were above those titles. But now that they've left it, it's you better call them the Duchess of Sussex, kind of thing. Don't call her Meghan Markle.
Yeah, it's a title now, and she used to say what we shouldn't be separated, or she had some kind of weird saying. It's been a while since I've refreshed my brain on mechanisms, but
Yeah.
and I actually don't want to go back there, I don't think.
With their address, as much as they might want to complain about it being a cottage, when their address was Palace, whatever the Palace, they were all about acting like they were way above those titles, and now it's a meaningful thing to their family that people need to respect.
Mhm. Which I would much prefer to go by Mountbatten Windsor because I know the historical significance of it. So
I've heard Windsor, but for some reason I've never heard Mountbatten. Is that what you said?
Mountbatten Windsor,
Mountbatten
yeah.
Windsor. Never heard
Mountbatten's more of a blood name, and Windsor is a name that they changed to because it was Saxe-Coburg Gotha. And during World War II, they
Yeah.
realized that they really didn't want to keep that German name because of the possible associations with Hitler, and they just came up with Windsor after Windsor Castle.
Yeah.
Okay. Whatever name you want, girl.
You know your history.
Yeah, no, I love that.
Nerd.
I'm getting a lesson on this. I really enjoy it. I appreciate it.
Yeah, so when Meghan comes into Harry's life, they meet at the Soho House, and I don't know, do you know what the Soho House is?
As far as I understand, it's an exclusive club, like restaurant nightclub type thing. The membership fees to be in it are extremely high, and I guess there are social status requirements too. Like you've got to be high up in Hollywood, known, or else like known as an international billionaire. Like you've got to be something to get in. Justin and Sophie Trudeau are members, and Meghan Markle, after Suits, was able to get membership.
I feel like Suits, I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but was it that popular of a show for her to get into something like that?
Well, it was filmed in Canada, and the Soho House that she first joined was the one in Toronto. And because of it being filmed in Canada, it was a really big deal there for their economy and stuff, which put her in touch with local politicians. And there were actually a lot more promos done of her in Canada where it was being filmed. Like they have a clothing store called Rebrand's, and it's kind of similar like Kmart and stuff here. And they did a collab with Meghan. So there were billboards everywhere of Meghan for Reitmans in Canada.
Yeah, which she supposedly was a bully on the set and swiped some of the props.
Yeah, the shoes.
Gotta take those trophies.
And, I didn't even really have any interest in Harry at all until he started the Invictus Games. Or what I thought he had started the Invictus Games, but turns out it was the Warrior. He came over here and saw the Warrior Games, got the idea, and then his dad and brother, I guess. Thank you, Cherokee Girl.
Thank you so much, Cherokee Girl.
I think his dad and brother actually helped him set it all up and everything. So.
Yeah, apparently, from what I understand, the palace come up with the idea to create it and kind of give it to Harry to give him a purpose. Because after he was out of the military, he was really aimless and always falling out of nightclubs and punching out paparazzi and stuff like that. I
Yeah.
didn't follow Harry or William
Mhm.
after Diana because and also there wasn't much to follow anyway, because
Yeah.
after Diana, a lot of laws that needed to be put in place were put in place about the
Mhm.
access that the press could get. So I didn't really start following them themselves, again, them two, until they both got married and started putting information out there.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
now it's wild because Harry and Meghan have done this 360 after their worldwide privacy tour to reality shows. So they like to call them docuseries. It's a freaking reality show.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
seriously.
Well, and they're really, really poorly made. Another similarity, but yeah, really poorly made documentaries.
The only
Yeah,
thing
I
I
mean,
want
the Invictus one, I would say, is a documentary, but like the Harry and Meghan one, the only one they really had success with, that was a reality show.
Yeah. So while
Yeah.
we're on the topic of Invictus, I actually I got so mad when I realized that Invictus was just basically a show for for Harry to put on and for Meghan to trail along. And when you a couple of months ago, actually, it's probably been about 7 months ago or so. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, it may have been a year ago because it was around Invictus time, so it would have been last year Invictus. I started looking at the website and all of the media out there, and every time I got on there, it was all about Harry. And hey, Matt, Maverick, and Joy, good to see you. And so yeah, I was disgusted because I had seen the parades that they were doing, the just making it all about themselves, and then I was like, well, let me give them a chance. Let me do it from, just fresh eyes. Let me look at this thing. And I could not get away from Harry. It was like, why in the world is this about Harry? This is supposed to be about the soldiers, or, yeah, it's supposed to be about the soldiers. And so it's just so disheartening, and I want to support Invictus. I want to be there for them, but I feel like I wish somebody from Invictus would come and talk to me. Honestly, I've been
It
trying.
kind of looks like a vanity project for Harry, doesn't it? As opposed to
Yeah.
being for the veterans.
Yeah, so I've had a disabled veteran on here that does the Paralympics, and he has kind of dabbled in that world and knows some things, but right now he's getting ready for the Olympics, and he doesn't want to jeopardize anything, so he's keeping mums for a while,
Yeah.
but eventually one day I hope for him to come on and just kind of give us an insight into that world. And I want to support Invictus. I really do. But with Harry being the face of it, to me, it's just a joke, which
Yeah.
is really sad.
I'm very
You know,
keen break.
there's a lot of talk about how much money Megan spends on her clothes, and that's not something that I've ever downed her for. Because,
Hmm.
like, if you can afford it, whatever. But the one time where I will say that it was ridiculous that she wore these extremely expensive high-end clothes was at the Invictus Games.
Yeah.
That would have been the opportunity. It's very well known that anything Megan wears sells out immediately. If
Hmm.
she would have worn Invictus gear, Invictus branded gear, that
Yeah.
would have become fashion among the Sussex squad and her followers. It was just an example of how she has opportunities like that and just that squanders them.
Yeah. And I think that's what frustrates me about her is that she had this once in a lifetime opportunity that no one hardly ever gets, to
Mhm.
be in this family, to have the ability to affect change anywhere and everywhere you want. I mean, you can take your pick as to what you want to focus on. And if you want to make change, you have all the resources at your fingertips to make change.
Yeah.
And
Well,
so
and
it's frustrating.
yeah, and it's important to note too for anyone new to, the Meghan lore, that this isn't an expectation that we just put on her from marrying into the royal family. Meghan said before, in the process, and immediately after they got married, over and over, that she was there to make change. She was there to use that platform and make change. So it's not that, anybody who marries into it, some people don't have any drive to be a
Mhm.
public figure and might just marry, and that would be okay. But
Yeah.
no, she was saying the whole time this was her goal, and then she just flubs it all so badly.
Well, and yeah, she wanted to be a humanitarian, and she started building that portfolio right before she encountered Harry, which I feel like was a whole
No
psyop.
Google.
I feel like it was a whole psyop. But
Well, she
yeah,
wants us to believe she didn't know who Prince Andrew was,
right.
whenever Harry introduced her to him and the Queen for the first time. But also, we're supposed to believe that she was friends with Eugenie before
Mhm.
knowing Harry and had no idea who Andrew was.
Yeah.
Never Googled any of them. She ran a whole
Yeah.
freaking blog.
The whole thing is fishy to me, and actually, oh, what's her name? The Royal Grift. She does a really good job.
Yeah.
She's been she's been breaking some things down and looking at some things, and I'm just like, wow, okay, you go, girl.
Uh-huh.
Because
Oh, yeah.
I like it when people think outside of the box, because for a long time I have just kind of been tunnel, and I haven't really used my imagination or anything for a while because of my injuries.
Sure.
And I'm now getting to the point where I can start reading something and start dissecting it again and start seeing, what I would assume normal people don't see.
Gotcha.
So I'm trying to get back there, but I have I've followed this thing since the very beginning, and I've seen all of these content creators make all of these videos, and usually I'm just an observer on that side. I hardly ever interact. Um, when I have, it's been kind of scary. So,
I hear you. Yeah, we've been in a weird place in the whole Gypverse lately, but that's another deal.
oh yeah, totally, totally. And it's scary too, because it's like people will attack you in the comments, and this was before I even started my or right when I was starting my podcast. I got attacked in the comments of somebody's video because I thought, I was doing something good. What did you just oh I thought I was doing something good, and I guess it wasn't a good thing. I don't know, and I got torn apart. So I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna back out of this and not comment, and I'll just watch from afar.
I think we've all been there.
Yeah. So, let's see. What can you think of to talk about? Because I'm looking over our list.
Thank you so.
Well,
Oh, there you go.
Thank you so much again, Cherokee girl.
Yes. Oh, did you do it again? Thank you.
Yes, we very much appreciate it. Oh, Joy, yeah. I don't know if you could tell what I was up to over there. Oopsie.
Oh, actually, the palace bullying. Let's talk about that.
yeah, so I was going to say we got up to the wedding, and then after the wedding, she was really getting good press in the British press for quite some time. Like there was nothing but glowing stuff. They were calling her and Harry and William and Catherine the Fab Four and all this stuff.
Mhm.
And it seems like when it turned was Harry and Meghan made this big joint public statement about carbon emissions and public travel and limiting your carbon emissions and all this stuff. Well, and that annoyed a lot of people, and they immediately checked Harry and Meghan's public flight patterns, and
I
they'd been
forgot about
on
that.
massive, huge private jets. So this
Yeah.
happened right before the reports come out that said that Meghan made Kate cry, and
God bless you.
it was yeah. And whenever this first came out, I was reading this report, the British press are like, Meghan made Kate cry over the bridesmaid's dress or whatever. And my first thought was, wow, this is dumb. They're probably having tea together, laughing about this. There's no
Yeah, me
way.
too.
Yeah. And but apparently behind the scenes of those things, Meghan was melting down all the time and treating people in a way that I think she thought she was going to go into the royal family and use negotiating tactics that she picked up from the scripts of Suits. And they were like, "You're being a freaking bully. Stop it."
Yeah, well, they said, I mean, she was up at like 6 in the morning sending out all these directives and
5 a.m. Yeah, emails.
yeah, yeah. And I can only imagine because she seems extremely high strung. So I can only imagine what it would be like to actually work for her. And then in that capacity where, it's basically, well, I mean, she's part of royalty now,
Mhm.
she's your boss and she runs your country or helps run your country or whatever, not
Right.
literally, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, apparently, it was pretty bad. She was just constantly always, if something wasn't exactly how she expected, just snapping and going off on people in a way that they absolutely didn't expect. Because if you've done a lot of reading, like you and I obviously have on the royal
Mhm.
family, you know that even though they have everything done for them hand and foot, morning, noon, and night, what their norm is to make those demands and always in the form of polite request.
Mhm.
Charles walk in and say, would you mind ironing my shoes if when you have a moment or whatever, but like it's an absolute demand because of who it's coming from and the power imbalance and the job, but
Mhm.
it's normal for them to phrase it in such ways, and she didn't seem willing to get that.
Yeah, and Jason Knopf, their private secretary or whatever, and he's
Mhm.
actually American from what I understand. Um, went
I didn't know that.
and wrote a report about her
Mhm.
bullying,
Yeah.
and then Meghan and Harry tried to say that, oh, they were releasing it because of their Oprah interview. And then the palace was saying, "Oh, you're doing the Oprah interview because Prince Philip's in the hospital and we're weak at the moment." So it's just like a tit for tat.
Yeah, well, that Oprah interview shocked me. That's when I was really like, "What the actual hell?" Because, like I said, with the whole, like, who made who cry thing, I thought that was dumb of the press. I was like, "There's no way," because to me, like, if me and one of my sisters, sister-in-laws, whatever, had a tiff and made each other cry, there is absolutely no way anyone else would ever know about it,
Oh yeah,
and
right.
it would it would be a thing that we got over and then laughed about. So I thought it was so dumb that there was no way that could be real. And then she goes on Oprah with her Diana cosplay makeup on and is like, the big thing was when they said, I made Kate cry, but Kate made me cry. And it's like, oh my God, you're really oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Actually, miscarriage.
I I checked out on Megan way, way before that and Harry. I don't want to, they're both in my mind doing the same, doing the most.
Mhm.
so so I don't want to distinguish, one or the
Yeah.
other. But but yeah, I got lost on them way back and who was it? Yankee Wally is I found Yankee Wally. Do you know who she is?
Uh-huh. Yeah, I remember her
Okay.
stuff when it first came out.
Yeah, and so I started listening to her, and I was like, "Who's this little old lady? She's just telling it like it is," and it was enjoyable. I enjoy listening to Morbid. And
Mhm.
in my opinion, she was just roasting Megan, and I was just like,
Yeah.
"Oh, okay," because she would
Yep.
just find little clips or pictures or whatever, and so I found her, and then I found Danger Zone Ashley, God rest her soul, and so then I found Murky Meg, and then from
Mhm.
there on it was I think according
Nina
to
River,
Taz,
Leonia Barbados.
yes, Leilani of Barbados, and P Dinah and Bookworm, who hopefully one day will come on here because I've bought 2 of her books and I've read them, and I'd like to talk to her about them. And yeah, so there's lots of people to talk about, and I've consumed all of this information for all of these years. And when they went to Nigeria, I think is when they lost me, and I just quit paying attention after that.
Yeah, there's a, like I said, when they first lost me is whenever they really went off on the whole public about carbon emissions, and then but made a complete exception and excuse for themselves, but they have to use these massive Russian private jets.
Hmm.
And so then the Oprah interview was just more to me like there was no need for any of that to be public. And there was a lot in there that was extremely exaggerated. I mean, going on a platform like Oprah's and calling people racist is a huge freaking deal. Like, I mean, even on our small channels, if we suddenly call somebody racist that everybody knows, that's a huge freaking deal. So to do it on that level was massive. And
Hmm.
then the only thing she had was, from what I've heard, what's been put out there, you'd have to look up the content creators, but it's been put out there by a lot of different people. It's been in a couple of books that what happened was Camilla said, "Wouldn't it be funny if he had a ginger afro? If he was ginger and had a ginger afro." And apparently that is what Meghan interpreted as they wanted to know, they were concerned about what it would look like and how dark he would be when it was born. To
So
Oprah,
that's what was really said.
that's what's been put out there in a couple of books. I want to say it might have been Valentine Lowe's. I don't want to say it wrong, but there's been a couple of books and several content creators, big ones, say that it was sourced. It's been put out
Okay.
from several different sources that that's what it was that she
Okay.
went on Oprah with to say that they were racist.
Hmm. Well, as somebody who has a very multiracial family, we're constantly, when a baby is about to be born, constantly wondering what they're going to look like, which parent they're going to favor. It's normal, and
Well, Chris Rock confirmed that from his community.
yeah. I have a triracial niece, and I remember always, I remember thinking, I wonder what in the heck she's gonna look like, and she's absolutely beautiful,
She's
absolutely
gorgeous.
Yeah.
gorgeous.
Mixed
But
race people are some of the most beautiful humans. It's like the genes just beautifully meld art.
yeah, she's white, Korean, and black, so she's extremely gorgeous.
Oh, I
But
bet.
yeah, and so I really had high hopes for Meghan. I had high hopes for Harry, even though I kind of always thought he was kind of a bumbling idiot. But he,
Mm. Oh, yeah.
but when he started the Invictus, I was like, okay, I can give this guy a chance.
I've never understood how he was like a sex symbol for like a certain period of time.
Me either.
I mean,
Me
I'm like
neither.
way up in here.
Him or William, honestly, neither of
Yeah,
them are.
Well,
when he
William
had
when he
more
was
hair,
younger.
when he had more hair. Not that we don't love our bald kings out
Yes.
here. Trust me, I do. But but regardless, yeah. Anyway.
Well, and he's still handsome. I actually saw a couple of pictures the other day where he's still handsome, but for I never,
They got them inbred genes though. I'm sorry.
Okay, Laura. Anyways,
Good
yes, we remember the Nazi uniform Cherokee girl. We were
Yes.
talking about that earlier
Yeah.
because it was horrendous, and it's like,
It's
okay,
not
Megan, why
cool.
did you didn't do your homework?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like somebody in the comments section said, and they were agreeing with me. Like, I Google pretty much everyone before I agree to actually hang out with them. And it's like, it's not that I'm going to hold every single thing you've ever done against you or anything. It's just I want to make sure that I'm not hanging out with someone that's committed like a serious crime. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, I want to
right.
know what I'm getting into. I want to know what I'm getting into. So,
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. So now whenever Harry and Meghan decided to leave, they kind of went out in a tantrum, and I think it was mostly because they got denied their merching because they wanted to basically sell everything they could with the name Sussex on it, and or Sussex Royal,
Yeah.
and the Queen's like, no.
what does your hoodie say? You have a hoodie that says something about a Sussex squad or something. Also, thank you, Cherokee girl. You've we're trying to put your thing up on screen, but we very much appreciate the extra membership that you sent in.
Thank
But
you
anyway,
again, Cherokee girl.
Thank you so much. We always appreciate you.
Yes. Okay. So a couple of years ago, I bought the body language guy, Jose. I always want to call him Enrique Iglesias.
Because it's Jose Enrique something. I
Yeah.
don't remember his last name, but his middle name is Enrique.
Okay.
Body language guy. Love him. I watch him all the time. It's been a while since I've watched a lot of the Meghan creators, but I bought a hoodie that says Sussex Squad Survivor.
Nice.
So I don't know anything about this guy, by the way, but body language is kind of like it's kind of seen as kind of like an iffy at
Oh
best,
yeah,
like,
he
whatever.
makes fun of.
But the reason why I say it though is like, sorry to bring it back to this, but whenever Fancy talks about her psych team, I always imagine that like they took like one of those online like body language
classes.
Thank you, Rebrand.
Thank you.
All these people
watch the video.
Go to put that on there.
I'm trying.
I'm sorry, what were you saying?
All these people who tune in for the Meghan, they're going to be like, who are these weird people they're talking about?
Yeah, well, I'm sure most of the people that are like our average viewers are probably going to know more about Fancy, but
I know.
you guys can Google her. We'll leave it at that. But regardless, I always think of the body language analysis channels whenever she talks about her psych team. I watched like 3 of their videos, and now I'm an expert.
Right.
Now we're qualified.
No, he puts a lot of comedy into it and everything.
Okay.
He's really funny.
No,
he's not like analyzing every little thing.
No, he's more just roasting.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, they went from Sussex Royal, and then they so they decided to leave. And they didn't tell the Queen that they were leaving until 20 minutes before they told everybody else.
Before the freedom flight.
Yeah. Yeah, and then they took this.
You froze up on me.
When they get there. And then Tyler Perry bells.
You're freezing up, Amber.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry about that.
Can you hear us now?
Yes.
Okay.
So real quick, I want to say, I think that us putting your guys' comments on the screen is making things worse. I'm going to take your thing off, Cherokee Girl, and hope it doesn't mess with anything. Unless there's like a really important comment, we're probably not going to put it up, not because we don't love you, but just because it seems like it's causing us more issues.
Yeah.
But where you left off, you said something about Tyler Perry bailed them out of jail.
Yes, not out of jail.
Or jail? No, wait, why did I say jail? Sorry. I'm smoking. I know they weren't in jail. Sorry, you said bailed out, and that's where my brain went. Not out of jail. That was me misspeaking. They bailed.
They
What
were
did Tyler
living.
Perry do?
They were living in this beautiful mansion owned by, I think, an oligarch.
I must have been jail.
Vancouver Island.
Yeah, and the paparazzi was stalking them.
Mhm.
So somehow in the dead of night they got to LA, and then they set up shop at Tyler Perry
Uh-huh.
sent a plane to get them. And we talked about this with P. Diner, or you weren't on that one.
No, I was.
Oh.
Well, the reason why I asked you what I started to branch off into with Tyler Perry, because I remember we had this conversation with P. Dinah,
Mhm.
and I didn't have any context, but I was like, Tyler Perry specifically. He broke my heart.
Yes.
Because I grew up on Tyler Perry movies, TV shows. I literally have, to anybody who knows who this is, but I have a literal framed picture of Mr. Brown on my wall in my bedroom. Okay. I don't give a shit. I fucking love Tyler Perry stuff. Okay. I urge you to do your own research because I don't know what's actually accurate or not. But allegedly, there's a lot of allegations against him from a lot of men saying that he might have taken advantage of them, et cetera, et cetera. And also, he has like a heavy association with Kenneth Copeland, which, if you want to Google that, that is a crazy man.
Very scary guy.
This has nothing to do with Meghan Markle, but I just wanted to say, Tyler Perry, you broke my heart. I grew up with you.
Well, Tyler Perry is Meghan Markle's daughter's godfather.
Yes.
Yeah, he has a lot of allegations, is all I'm going to
And
say.
I think maybe they're sons. I can't remember.
Because I loved him. You don't get
I
it.
don't think his sons. It was supposed to be like maybe Harry's godfather.
I mean, I literally
don't
still
remember.
will put on House of Pain for the dogs, or what? The dog. I put on.
We only
put
have
on,
one dog now.
I know. But
We
I'll
keep
put,
saying dogs.
I'm sorry, but I'll put House of Pain on for Oates to give him background noise. Sorry, I'm sad about Frankie, but anyway. But yeah, I'll put House of Pain on still to this day. But Tyler Perry, you make me sad. Sorry, that was a side tangent, as I am known to do.
Well, being a child of the 80s and 90s, Oprah broke my heart when I realized who she was.
The Hawaii
Some
fire.
of her business dealings are pretty sketch from what I read.
And even the school in Africa.
Right, that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, that's really scary to me. And yeah, we're going to get into Harry and Meghan in Africa later. But so they go, and when they get to California, they set up something called Archewell.
Yeah.
And Archewell is their like overarching company. Foundation that it's supposed to be a humanitarian website and foundation. And
also encompasses their commercial stuff, Archewell Audio, Archewell Studios.
Yeah, so like their podcasts, their books,
Well, and that's so
whatever
funny
they do.
because they have Archewell Audio. Spotify signed them for this massive deal, and Spotify thought they have Archewell Audio that they would just produce the podcast and deliver it. Well, months on, they had done nothing, and Spotify had to send a team out there to build a studio and produce the podcast.
And she wasn't even doing a lot of the interviews. It was pieced together. It wasn't like this. She was like piecing it all together.
Really?
Yeah, and it wasn't very good. And now she's got another one coming up. So
Yeah.
Well, it was bad enough that after Spotify canceled their contract, a Spotify executive was on another podcast, Bill Simmons, and he literally said when Harry and Meghan were brought up, the fucking Grifters, that's the podcast we should have done with them.
yeah.
Yeah.
And actually, Harry and Meghan were at the premiere of The Lion King. They were supposed to go to this was when they were still in England. Yeah, this was when they were still in England. They were supposed to go do a tribute for some soldiers who had died. I can't remember what the occasion was. And instead of doing that, they went to go see Beyonce and Jay-Z at the premiere of The Lion King. And then while they're standing there with press watching, Harry basically gives a pitch to, I think, Bob Iger, who was the head of Disney at the time, saying, "Hey, did you know that
So
my wife
cringe.
does voiceovers?"
Oh my God.
It was
It's
cringy.
so embarrassing.
I remember when I saw that, I was like, "Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Yeah, no,
that's
that's definitely
bad."
something. I feel like I remember vaguely of hearing about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't pay that much attention to Meghan Markle, but I do remember I watched one of your videos, Millennial, the other day where she was kind of talking crap or at least giving weird looks to someone who said that he enjoyed metal music.
Yes.
Yeah, the
That
chef.
one hit me a little bit. I was like,
She
damn.
was
As a
judging
former
him so
Disney fan,
hard.
I know. And you know what? I feel like she deserves to get in a mosh pit. I feel like that would be a great place for her to just vibe out and figure out all of her shit.
Yeah.
Get her in the pit,
She might
man.
come out of it with a little bit of authenticity.
Seriously, it really humbles you to get in a pit as somebody who's gotten messed up in there.
I don't know if we're going to be able to show this or not,
Yeah.
but it's only like 35 seconds. Hold on.
35 seconds you'll probably be able to get away with.
Well, I mean, I just don't want our internet to be all.
Oh, our internet. Okay, that's valid. You know, you always got to worry about copyright stuff is the only thing I was saying because get monetization yet, have you?
You cut out there. Sorry.
Oh, our thing just totally froze.
Did you
Hold
hear
up.
us?
Sorry, our thing just totally froze. I just asked if you weren't able to get monetization. If you responded, I didn't hear it.
Oh no. And Fancy has 2 active copyright strikes on me now. So
Oh my God.
not gonna be an option until like May.
Oh.
And you're like the only freaking person that's actually been able to have those copyright strikes stand, right?
She got 1 through on Cutting Board Dawn out of the several that she tried, but Dawn fought it. And if I fought it, I would win because we know Fancy's not doing a court case. But
Yeah.
she would get my personal information. I know that's the only reason that's what she
Yeah.
wants. Her
Oh,
goals.
absolutely. I'm so sorry that you're getting screwed over. Like
Oh,
you're
well.
I actually like even if I don't understand like the Meghan Markle stuff, like I've watched this because I just like I like you and I like what you have to say. So
Oh,
I'll be
thank
watching
you.
your videos. I don't always comment 'cause I don't have anything like crazy to say, but I'll always be watching them.
I appreciate that.
No, of course, of course. Okay.
Which,
let's look
by
this
the way,
video.
we'll have to talk about your
Yes. And while you're playing this, I've seen this, so I have to take another potty break.
Okay.
This, hold up. In sign language, this is like bathroom. So I did this to her earlier. So that's what I meant when I did that. Anyway, thumb in between the pointer finger and the middle finger, and then you go back and forth. Sign language lessons from Alora. I used to be fluent, but now I don't know anything. Anyway.
Okay. Let me tell you, it was really handy at Chick-fil-A through the glass. She could tell me what she wanted.
Oh, I bet.
Okay, hold on. Let's see if this happens. Okay. This is Tim Dillon, by the way. Tim Dillon is freaking hilarious. He says off the wall crazy things. This is just one of the only ones that I could find. This is not one of his newest takes on Meghan Markle. Actually, go watch his newest video. It's really funny. Yes, he says very offensive things. Don't blame me for that. Don't blame him for that. He's a comedian. But here we go.
By snoring. Peaceful day.
I don't call many things evil, but that's evil. And if you look at that and you see anything else than a demon from hell, I don't know what to say. I cannot help you. But that is a video of a terrorist attack on American soil from an American citizen.
Oh my goodness, he's so funny. Oh, yeah.
I guess her weapon is dried flowers.
If you guys want to know what I watch in my off time, Tim Dillon, Joe Rogan, stuff like that. So I got brain rot.
Is that the guy that we're seeing this week?
Oh no, we're actually going. I forgot we were going. We're seeing Tom Green this week.
Oh, I don't really know who that is, but my mom was like, "We're gonna go," and I was like, "Bet, okay." Cool.
No one knew who he was in the house, and I'm like, "Are you guys kidding me?"
Well, he's performing close to here, so I was like, "Okay, yeah, why not? I have nothing better to do. Let's go." So I'm hoping for the best.
I think I remember it from the 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, he was married to Drew Barrymore, and
I'm trying to remember who he was married to. Yeah.
yeah, I think he was.
Respect on that.
I
Drew
think.
Barrymore.
Yeah, well, back in that day.
Well, no, that was hot as hell. But no, she does this whole, oh my goodness, yes, tell me more about your life.
Yeah, so she had Meghan on there recently, and they took a really awkward photo where Drew was doing her like lean in, full body, like face it, and Meghan was like very stiff, just.
Which, you know what? I have to say, well, first of all, if Drew Barrymore wanted to give me a really long hug, I would accept it. I would just accept it. But like with normal people, I don't really like to be touched either. So I kind of get that too. You know what I'm saying? That's all I gotta say.
Yeah,
Cobb is the only one who knows who Tom Green is.
Well, the cop.
Drew Barrymore, it's a weird thing with her her touchy-feely ways on the show. Like that's cool with some people, but it's weird to me that she does it with every single person. Because some people have got to not be okay with that, you know?
Yeah, I used to be a super touchy-feely person with all my friends. I would hug all of them. You know, there were boundaries that probably would be crossed that, you know, I wouldn't cross today. But then I ran into like just a few creepy men at work. And then after that, I was like, nope, like, I'm sorry, don't fucking touch me. Like, period. Don't touch me, period. That's all I gotta say. So now I don't even give hugs to like only but maybe 5 people in my life, other than like, you know, extended family that I don't see often. So thanks, men. No, I'm sorry. I'm not a misandrist, I promise.
Okay, Rebrand says that the blog style show Meghan is doing is tired, worn out, and overdone. She is no Martha. Yes, that is
some
correct.
Respect on Martha Stewart's name.
You know what? Whenever I've only gotten through the first 2 episodes of Meghan's show, but it hits me that this could be a rich YouTuber. Like it doesn't feel Netflixy even.
Yeah.
Like it feels like this could be a really well-to-do YouTuber.
Yeah, and I mean, I'll give her props. Well, actually, I'm not going to give her props because I don't think she built half of those like ladybugs and stuff like that.
Yeah,
because
ladybugs.
Okay, she was doing some appetizer where she was creating tomatoes and mozzarella, and she was making them as ladybugs.
That's kind of cute.
Yeah, it's cute, right? But I don't think she put them together because Pinterest is hard as heck. I don't know if you've done it or not, but going on to Pinterest and trying to recreate some of those things is.
Hey, I made all those charcuterie roses for you.
You did a very good job on that. She did a very good job.
Apparently, I can't remember who it was. Maybe Dan Wooten or somebody just came out with this earlier today. But that one pan pasta that she made, which honestly just looked horrible to me. Y'all are froze. Are you hearing me? I'm gonna let them come back, y'all.
Yeah, if we freeze, just keep going.
Talking, but also, if we interrupt you, it's probably because you froze, so we're not being assholes.
No problem. Did you hear what I was saying about the one pan pasta?
One pan pasta, yeah.
It doesn't look good to me at all because, I mean, probably mostly because my favorite cooking is Southern cooking, and it's a lot of that is about cooking things either slowly in specific ways to bring out the flavor. So raw vegetables, you know, crudité here and there, that's one thing. But for every freaking thing you cook to be either half raw or mostly raw, like that one pan pot, that's not cooked.
What is her one pan pasta? I'm confused as an outsider.
Well,
do you know the basics of it at least?
Yes, and what I was getting to and kind of lost myself therein is apparently Martha Stewart has had a recipe out for this for a long time. And just a little bit before Meghan's show came out, she got wind of it and went and changed her description to say, though the one and original, or like the only and original, or something like that, one pan pasta. But so what it is you take and you put like your cherry tomatoes, some herbs, some olive oil and stuff into a pan, and then you put raw spaghetti noodles on top of it, and then pour boiling water over that, and then stew it a while. And the thing is, like, the starch from the spaghetti noodles is supposed to be your cream. I don't like that. It sounds disgusting to me. I like real cream. Cheese, yeah.
I get
Just
that.
sounds gross. And the stuff, like I said, the
it just kind of
vegetables.
reminded me of this. It's totally different. But does anybody remember like 2020?
Oh, you froze up.
And everything around it. Am
You
I still
froze up.
frozen?
I just heard you remember 2020, and then it was frozen, then I come back to everything around it. So what was the thing?
No, it just reminded me of that 2020 like TikTok feta cheese pasta that they came out with. It was like you put like pretty much like a block of feta like in the middle, and then you put like olive oil and like tomatoes and stuff around it. Does anybody remember what I'm talking about?
I think I do. It feels like the trend is to look for a million ways to cook pasta without actually cooking the pasta. Oh, y'all are froze up. Drew is going to kneel in front of the mother to say. That's hilarious, Rebrand.
Somebody tell me when we come back into frame.
Your sound is back, but not your. There's your video.
Okay. You know, this is getting really frustrating. I think I'm going to buy Starlink because this is really frustrating the heck out of me.
Fuck Elon Musk, though. Sorry, I had to say it.
Hey, it's better than this.
Not everything that my mom says I agree with, and not everything that I say my mom agrees with. Just want to throw that out there.
And sometimes we agree, we just don't say we agree.
Sometimes we agree, but we just phrase it differently.
Yeah.
I tend to be a little more blunt, a little more rude, a little more cunty.
Laura D, this is on MBR. Come on now.
I'm sure if you were to go in the backlogs of MBR, there's much worse. That's all I'm gonna say. Veterans a voice, but sometimes that voice that the veterans want to have is questionable at best. That's all I'm gonna say. And that's my final statement on the matter.
Okay, well, actually, I think we're gonna call this early because our internet sucks so bad. But I do want to pick this up and actually talk more about it. I've been kind of off my game since the internet has been so bad the last few months. I've just been like, half the stuff that you say, we don't hear.
We're just nodding around.
No problem.
And it's probably the same way with you. I don't know.
It seems like it got worse in the last 20 minutes. It was weird.
Yeah, so
unfortunately,
I don't know what's going on, but I wanted to tell everybody. What?
Oh, my bad. I just said we can give it a shot again sometime.
What'd you say, Millennial?
Oh, darn, you froze up again.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Either she did or we did. I don't know.
Okay, we see you again. What's up? What were you saying?
I just said we can give it a shot again sometime. No big deal. What were you saying?
Yes,
Sorry.
Fubar Rebrand.
Sometimes you have issues too, so we get it. It happens. It happens.
But what I wanted to say is that I still am working on all of the FOIA requests. I got an update, and they're working on it. I think it's like around 40% ready because they've got to go and research and pull all of these documents.
FOIA requests?
I'm just going to say that it's going to be extremely interesting.
Gotcha. Well, the only reason why I'm asking is because at the very beginning of the show, you said you were pulling out.
Yes, of those.
Okay.
Yes. I'm not making any content on that stuff.
If we find anything, because I don't want people to hold us to one statement we make.
Oh, yeah.
If we find something that we think is worth talking about, we'll talk about it. But it's not something that we're actively investing a bunch of our time into. That being said, we will probably, since she already submitted some of the requests, put a down payment on all that stuff.
Yes.
Before we decided to kind of take a step back a little bit, we might be sharing it with sorry, that wasn't English. Other creators to if they have anything that they want to say.
Yes.
Mostly, unless we find something specific we want to talk about.
Yeah. I'm collecting them. No, you can hear me or not, but it does cost a lot of money. So I have set up a Cash App that I will somehow figure out how to disseminate the information.
You're froze up again.
Oh.
Oopsie daisy. Can you see us again? Okay, cool.
Okay,
So my mom said that she set up a Cash App for the FOIA request because unfortunately it's a little pricey. I didn't know about this until just like literally as she's saying it, so I don't know what she's talking about. But
no, don't do that yet. Don't do that yet.
No. Okay, well, we will put that towards the FOIA.
Yeah.
So thank you, Rebrand. We'll put you on the screen so that the rewatchers can see.
Thank you, Rebrand.
Thank
But please don't send any money right now for that because if you can hear me, because I want it all to go to one place so that everything is accounted for, if you can hear me. And I want to make sure that everything is accounted for and in one pot. And we're also going to CrimeCon. I bought a table, so we're going to be in Denver.
Yeah.
In September, is it? And it's going to be right around your birthday.
It's going to be early September.
Okay.
So it's going to be like a couple days after I get back from local romance concert. So I'm going to have a really busy September. Holy shit, I'm going to have a busy September.
Yes, you
How
are.
fun.
Anyway.
That's awesome.
Yes. So we are going to go to Denver to go to that.
So if you want to go to CrimeCon for any other reason, just know that you'll be able to see us as well. Maybe meet us in person.
Yeah,
So.
and Military Broadcast Radio is going to have a table
Separate from ours?
No, I bought that.
Oh,
no,
gotcha.
it's going to be Military Broadcast Radio.
And we'll just be some of the people there.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I hope there's multiple people from MBR there so I can kind of wand.
Yes, you'll be fine.
Cool.
That's awesome.
But yeah, so we'll be at CrimeCon.
Yeah, so we've got lots of exciting things to do if our internet would work and would quit flustering me.
As we get out again, it looks like.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Millennial.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you, everyone in the chat.
Yes, thank you for doing that because it was such a beautiful painting.
Yes.
I know I spelled Quana's name on incorrectly in the. Can you hear me?
You're just come back.
Okay. Did you hear anything? What did I say?
She was just saying
about Quana's name.
She was saying that she appreciates you putting out the Quana Parker painting
Yes.
and for doing it for us because she really wanted it, and that she accidentally incorrectly spelled his name on the community post, and she just wanted to apologize for that.
Yes, and Joy, he was very handsome. And I grew up with seeing Quana everywhere. I went into the Star House a ton when I was a kid. I went to that amusement park when it was actually operating. And so we would go in there and hang out. And
You've even taken me to his grave.
Yeah, I've taken you to his grave, and I've taken you to Geronimo's grave. And yeah, so.
And you're related to Quana Parker? Are you?
I don't know. I thought I was.
That's what people said for years.
I don't know. If anything, I would be related to him on his mother's side, which is the white side. I was.
But that's just what you were told.
That was what I was told my whole life. But I went to all kinds of powwows and spent a lot of time really immersing myself in the Comanche Nation, and
I went to powwows with my family as a kid too.
yeah, and so it was just when I saw that you did.
Oh, you cut out.
Okay, well, we're gonna go then.
We really appreciate you coming in, Millennial, and we appreciate all of the viewers for tuning in today. It's been a fun one.
Yes, it has. And when our internet gets better, we will try and do this.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Everyone.
Bye.
You gonna play our
Bye.
outro?
Yeah, I'll play the outro. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us. Giving our veterans a voice.